Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Sports Dungeon. I'm your host, Lauren Tepper. We're talking with Joey Phillips and Amanda Casey. We're talking Turtle Hills. It's April 30th. It's almost here. And Joey was as we were took a break here at the last segment. He was talking a little bit about the dash to the finish line, and like I said, in my little small brain, I'm thinking, it's just one little guy coming down. He's pedaling. He's all by himself. But they're talking about it like being a NASCAR race. You know, you got five wide here.
Yeah, you could. I mean, there are times you have one or two person that is ahead of the pack, but then you have the pack coming. You don't know. They know who's in their division, and so you're going to have a mad dash for the finish line. So.
And they want to try to work together. I mean, as much as possible. You know, it's a lot easier to have three or four working together than it is one out there on his own. So.
Now you say that, and I guess, like I said, I've seen too much TV to understand. But what I'm envisioning is that the teams are together, and it's one in back, and then one's leading. Is that the same type of thing you're going to see?
Exactly.
Drafting, you can draft.
Well, I guess I'm not a complete idiot, okay, folks. All right.
You have it right.
Yeah, that is right.
You know, and if they need something, they'll help each other out. You know, food, drink, along the way.
Is there always one? Because like I said, I'm drawing on my limited knowledge here. That there's always one who tries to break away and thinks that they can can do the
it happens all the time.
The hills,
and they'll blow up, so to speak. And they may try to get up that hill fast, and they end up just zonking out, and then they get caught.
I assume this blown up thing is a bicyclist term.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Did you know what that meant, Joe?
Actually, I did not. That's a new thing for me. So.
I made you look good there, didn't I? All right. Well, you could have said.
That.
You could have said.
I could have
Oh
said.
yeah,
yes.
man! I knew all those terms.
On a course that's typically not hilly and pretty much flat, you'll have a huge pack finish. We won't have a huge pack finish here. We could have 1 to 2 to maybe 5 finish at a time. It just depends on like I said, the weather and the groups that are working together.
And at 58 mile race.
58.
And they're running what? Probably on average about 25 to 30 miles an hour.
Yeah, depending on where they're at the stretch of the course.
So you're looking at the finishing in about 2.5 hours.
Stronger riders have finished it earlier. Sometimes we're in awe when they come across the line. They can, the bigger riders who are in the 1-2 category is what we call them. That they can get on it.
Wow. Now, are you going to use the Parks and Rec's new electronic timing system?
We are. We're going to experiment, so to speak, with it, just to kind of play around and see how it does. It's good to go with something like this, but with this being our first time to use it, it's gonna.
I'm going to talk briefly about it, and then I don't want to take up a lot of the time about it. But the system, the Parks and Rec has purchased an electronic timing system that allows everybody to. Because the complaint is when you're in the back of the pack, it doesn't start until you get to the starting point, and then it's a true time. So if you've done your course technically in 15 minutes, you've really done it from start to finish in 15 minutes, not 15 minutes where you started 100 yards back or something along that line.
It's going to depend on how big your pack size is. If you take, for instance, if you have, we'll just talk about a 5K run. You have 500 people that have registered and starting. Obviously, the people that are in the back are not going to have the same start time as people in the front. So you adjust, and it has the capabilities of reading start times as well as finish times. If you just have a small group where it is a gun start and they can all start basically at the same time, then you just do a normal finish.
Right.
Finish time.
And the Parks and Rec's invested the money to buy this because the Parks and Rec is putting in this big cross country, and we're hosting, which not getting too much into it. Next fall, we're hosting, and I'm saying we as Harrison, but Parks and Rec is hosting the state cross country finals here in Harrison.
That is correct. And also with the increase of 5Ks and running events in the area, we have the capability of being able to help them out with that.
Mm-hmm. So, well, that's good. It's getting put to good use. So, all right, so let's talk a little bit about registration. If somebody wants to register today,
they can go to turtlehills.com.
Turtle Hills, you register online.
Register online.
And the fee to do this?
It varies, $30 to $45. Depends on if
if you're a tour rider, if you're a racer, if you're a youth, or if you're an adult. So it's just gonna vary.
what about you? The smaller 15-mile you talk about for a family
Right.
type deal. Tell me about. Is there a break for a family to do it to register, or it's $15?
I think it's $30 or $35 for the tour ride. So,
Okay.
You know,
it's not as much as the racers.
Okay.
right, for the racers itself. So, I mean,
They all get, they get goodie bags, and if you pre-register, you get T-shirts, and then afterwards, everyone has the ability to stay around and have free food from Pizza Hut.
Yeah.
They offer pizzas, pastas, all that kind of stuff.
That's what I get for going on. My phone's going off.
yeah.
It's one of these bad deals that I don't really like, but there's not much I can do about it. But that's all right.
But as far as registering, like I said, you can register online right now. You can come to the Houston and register. We have the forms down there if you want to just pop in
Yeah.
and do it. And as long as you're pre-registered, you're guaranteed a T-shirt. So that's a pretty big deal.
It is a pretty good deal.
And she mentioned, Pizza Hut. We can't do this. I mean, it's very unique for any other event around.
Mhm.
Is Lester Smith, puts on a meal for after the race or the tour ride. Pizza, pasta, whatever they bring after they ride the 58 miles or the 15 miles, they can come down and eat
Mhm.
for free, and so there you go.
Talk about the ride. Talk about the race. Just
Talk
kinda
about how bad the hills were.
camaraderie. Uh-huh. But yeah, I mean, it's if you look at other races in the area or tour rides or things like that, there's really no other that offers a free meal afterwards.
You said there's a bike club here in Harrison.
BRC.
Are you a member of that?
I am not.
You are not? Okay.
No.
Sorry, I wasn't trying.
We do a lot of things together. The reason why we have Tour de Hills is for BRC. So I mean, they help us out. They do a lot of stuff with us because we in having this event, we fulfill the requirement to be a licensed club.
Where else do they have a close one? You said there's a club in Fayetteville, and we mentioned briefly about the one that's the Tour of Branson or Tour of Missouri or whatever they call
I
that.
think Branson may have their club. Just different areas have different size clubs. Fort Smith has a huge club, and the bigger clubs will try to bring groups at a time to come over. But if we have, like BRC is a fairly small group, but they have probably 3 or 4 racers that go to different events themselves and race. And
Go. You said 2 years ago you had like 150, last year a little over 100. How many of those were actually doing the 58-mile course?
About 75 to 80% of
Yes.
them.
Wow.
yes,
Really that big?
And maybe last year had more than that because of the weather.
So we're 10 o'clock. If you're interested down on Highway 7, you can kind of route them on.
and just be mindful. There is a lot of stuff going on from that time frame when they're heading out, going to Jasper. And just be aware that there's cyclists going to be on the road. Be courteous.
Yes.
I mean, we share the road, so.
Let me ask you, and I don't want to get too much into politics side of it, with the changes that they're trying to impose here on Main Street. Any thought of changing years to come a course to incorporate that?
No.
Not
No.
right now.
Just asking. I mean, I'm not getting it. I don't want to get into the
No,
political side.
we've cornered the market on what our race is, and so we're not going to.
I mean, they can still get them down there. I just am
And
curious.
one thing is, we thought about changing the course up. I mean, the past few years we thought about it, but why change something that's good?
That's working for you.
But also you got to think about bicyclists crossing roads, main roads, and stopping traffic and things like that. So.
And you don't want a lot of things where you have to do any kind of left-hand turns,
Right.
and, so there's a lot of logistics into picking a route and a course, and why change what's working for us? So.
I guess I never thought of that really. To be honest with you, I never really thought about if you're on a bike, unlike a car race, you go straight and you turn left and then you turn left again. Where in a bike race, I figured that if you turn left or right, it probably didn't matter much. But there probably are some logistics.
You turn left, you're going to go
Yeah,
cross traffic.
Yeah, but I didn't think of that. I mean, I'm not.
And a bicycle versus a cart, that just don't work out.
Doesn't work that way.
So that's why I'm be careful.
Well, all right,
Just
let's
please
say.
keep that in mind that at that time of day we'll have a big group of cyclists on the road.
And the finish line will be up at Forest Heights School.
And if you want to see that,
143.
you need to be there by 11:30.
Yes.
An hour and a half.
Somewhere around that.
Somewhere around that.
But if you're traveling on 43 at that time,
To be conscientious.
we will be halting traffic for finishers.
Yes.
Well-
And we've notified the police departments, sheriffs,
Everybody that's
state police, everybody that
involved.
needs to be involved. So
Wow.
And if anybody would like to come down afterwards and have some pizza and pasta, they're welcome to do that too.
Guys, I appreciate you coming. I always enjoy I find something new out. What do you call the word? Blown up.
there you go.
There's a whole nother term that I can
Exactly.
figure a way to use it. If you have any interest, I know Joey and Amanda would love to have you volunteer or be part of the race or the what do you call it? Tour.
Sure.
Right. They would love for you to be part of it. This is the 6th year, so come on out. It's April 30th. And if you have any information, you can call Amanda down at the Youth Center, 74
1-2-3-4-6.
2346. You can get a hold of Joey over at First National Bank of Green Forest. I'm sure he'll be more than willing to answer any questions he's got for you, or go online to turtlehills.com.
Yes.
All right, guys, thanks.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Until next time, this has been the Sports Dungeon, and I'm your host, Lauren Tepper.